If you've ever been anxious or scared to get on stage, this video is for you, because today I'm going to share 4 of the main reasons you encounter stage fright and 7 ways to solve it. We don't always hear about it, but performance anxiety has destroyed the careers of many gifted, hardworking singers. And in some cases, it has taken not only their careers, but their lives. I've personally suffered from performance anxiety on and off throughout my whole career. I feel most alive and in my element singing on stage. So how can I still suffer from stage fright? This is a question I often ask myself and have made into a mission to figure out. Let me know in the comments what kind of stage fright you experience and how you deal with it. So, here are 4 reasons you too may experience performance anxiety. The first reason is because you're under-rehearsed. Under-rehearsal often happens for special one-night-only performances where you don't get sufficient repetition during the rehearsals. Performing is a very kinesthetic process, and remembering our lines is not just mental. Muscle memory is extremely helpful in recalling what to say and where to be on stage. This comes almost entirely through rehearsal. The next reason is that you're learning and implementing a new skill. Maybe it's a new way to approach coloratura passages. Or maybe it's integrating more acting intention into your singing. Or maybe it's how you approach low notes, high notes, or your passaggio. Maybe you've completely changed Fox. These are all times to slow down and allow yourself to integrate the new approach. I definitely wish I could go back to 17 when I was the star pitcher on my softball team. I wanted to be the absolute best I could be, so I started working with a professional coach. We reworked my pitching, but while I was learning the new technique, I literally rolled the balls on the ground during a game. It was utterly humiliating. Everyone told me I'd developed performance anxiety, and I believed them, when the truth was I simply needed time to integrate the new technique before introducing it into a high-stakes situation. I'm just grateful that I've got a better understanding now, even though it's still painful to think about. A third reason is that you're negatively comparing yourself to others. Comparisons are always going to bring us down. Even comparisons that build us up are a problem, because comparisons are fueled by ego attachment to outcome, competition, and putting others down, instead of lifting them and by extension ourselves up. The fourth reason you still may be experiencing symptoms of performance anxiety, even though you're well prepared, well rehearsed, and not comparing yourself to anyone else, is because some degree of anxiety is a completely natural physiological response to stress. Remember to set yourself up to succeed. Here are 7 ways I've found to combat your stage fright, and let me know in the comments below what other successful strategies you've found. The first tip is to rehearse in performance mode. Make sure that very early in the rehearsal process you are off book and giving your all to every rehearsal as though it is a performance. Your body-mind will remember the difference between a low-energy, low-commitment rehearsal and a fully alive, fully charged rehearsal. The more you practice in performance mode, the easier the transition to the actual performance. The next tip is to create a rehearsal schedule of your own. If you don't have the luxury of an extended rehearsal period, create one for yourself. In other words, create a personal rehearsal plan that you can execute alone at home. Think about exactly how many days you have before your performance, and then actually schedule rehearsals, increasing the number and intensity of practice sessions the closer you get to the actual date of the performance. Set up your living room or bedroom with stand-in props as though it was the stage. Decide where the audience will be, and then move around the space as though it were an actual rehearsal or performance. Keep in mind how your co-stars will also be moving around the stage. Memorize their lines or record them on your phone so you can pretend they are actually there. Include the first tip by carrying the idea of performance mode practice into your home rehearsals. Bring your full self to every practice. The third tip is to simulate actual performances. Set up an audience in your home. This is especially good for solos. Invite your friends and family for mini performances of your solos. Make sure to limit your guest list to those you know are fully supportive and likely to lift you up. Set them up to succeed by giving them directions on what you would like them to do. Do you want actual feedback? If so, what kind? Or would you prefer they simply congratulate you and say something positive? Don't let this be a one-off. Do it several times, and when there are no people around or the scene is too involved with the other actors, then use your stuffed animals or other inanimate objects as stand-ins. The fourth tip is to practice with distractions. You can go even farther with this kind of practice by setting up distractions like they use in dog training. Sometimes a trainer will roll a ball right in front of a dog that's not supposed to move. You can ask a friend to make distracting noises, or you can set timers to go off randomly while you're practicing. The goal is to keep going and not let it bother you. The next tip is to meditate and breathe deeply. Develop a practice of meditation and breath work. It's the what-if scenarios in our mind that turn a natural stress response into terror. Meditate and breathe deeply at a regular time every day. Then add this practice to your rehearsal process. I'll often meditate in my car right before an audition, and I'll maintain an awareness of my breath even while I'm performing, especially if I notice any anxiety starting to creep in. The sixth tip is to reframe your concept of anxiety. Reframe the anxiety as positive adrenaline needed to power your performance. One of the reasons most actors and singers experience some degree of stage fright is that it's a very natural physical response to stress. Even though we rationally know we're not going to die, the body still responds with fight or flight. Remind yourself when you feel it coming on that you can actually use the adrenaline to fuel your performance. Make an effort to think of the butterflies in your stomach as adrenaline and thank them for showing up. Be grateful for the extra energy available to you. And the seventh tip is to create pre- and post-performance rituals. Rituals help the body-mind relax and feel safe. The more consistent you are with your rituals, the more they will influence your body to feel safe under the perceived danger of getting on stage. I encourage you to develop rituals for before and after each rehearsal, before and after each performance, and most importantly, for after any big run of performances. It's so easy to be consumed by sadness when a show closes. Rituals that involve some kind of celebration for what you've just accomplished and what you're planning next can be really helpful in alleviating post-show depression. I'll do a whole video on specific rituals, but in the meantime, let me know in the comments what rituals you already find helpful. My biggest fear is always that I'll forget the words, especially when singing in a foreign language. And on occasion, I have forgotten the words for a moment or two. Not because I was afraid, but simply because I'm not perfect. Forgetting the words is totally human, and the audience almost never notices. When it happened in college, I sang kind of French, kind of gibberish for a full minute or two, and my opera coach didn't even notice. You probably have favorite moments of when it's happened to a well-loved celebrity singer, and they somehow turned it into a charming and memorable moment, or an educational moment in how to handle mistakes with grace and power. Bottom line, let's all dare greatly and perform through our fear. One of the ways to become a more confident singer is to perform more often. But if you're only focused on booking theater contracts, you may not have as many opportunities to perform as you would like. That's why in my next video, I share 3 ways to make money performing live without an audition. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and like it, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and then let me know in the comments below what other topics you'd like me to cover to help you further your singing career. Finally, go out into the world and let your light shine. You deserve to be heard, and the world deserves to hear you.